Hey y'all, it's Michelle from the Hudson Homestead. When you see the video that I upload from our weekend, it may be a little shorter. It'll be a lot shorter than that 43-minute video from Father's Day weekend. But it's I didn't get a whole lot because we didn't do a whole lot. Mainly just my mom and I went shopping, and but I didn't get any of that. I mainly just got uh, where my parents were, kind of telling stories of when I was younger. So I got a couple of those, and so it's really not a whole lot that to show for the weekend. But it was a good weekend. It was a little stressful on Sunday because my mom has dementia, where she repeats herself a lot, which is fine with me. I love her just the same, and so she just kind of repeats the sorry, they're doing work on the building here, and I'm out taking a break. So it's just a lot of repeating herself. However, Sunday was the most difficult, where there were a couple of times that she didn't realize that it was me, her daughter. She thought she was talking to somebody else, and so that was kind of eye-opening to her situation on where she's at. So if you've got an elderly parent that's got dementia or Alzheimer's, you know what I'm talking about. It's kind of it was just, I had not experienced that. So there were 2 or 3 times on Sunday, and I don't know if it's because she seemed kind of confused and scared, and not knowing where she was at, and not knowing who I was. Although she, at one point, she rode with me to go get some pizza from Little Caesars, and the way she was talking to me, it was like she was just with a friend. I wasn't her daughter, but she was happy, and she felt, I could tell she felt comfortable and safe, so that was fine. But there was another instance where she, bless her heart, asked me if my parents were still living, and my dad was sitting right next to her, and I said, yes ma'am, they are. And then there was another incident where I think maybe there were too many people at the house, and maybe at one time, and maybe she got stressed out because she had a confused and scared look on her face, and wanted to know where her mother was. So that was just heartbreaking, just to see her in that state, and had to comfort her. And then it wasn't longer, she was right back to where she knew who I was. And she knew who I was most of the time. She just mostly just kind of asked the same questions over and over several times in a short period of time. And then she's, told a lot of stories of when she was growing up, and her mom talking about her parents. So I am going to post those videos where I recorded her and my dad telling stories. Although my dad's, completely in his right mind at 80. It's just mainly my mama who's going through this. And so if you can keep her in your prayers, keep my dad in your prayers too, because he's having to deal with this. And it's hard for me being 7.5 hours away, living in North Carolina, and she lives in Atlanta. And it's hard when you can't be there with your parent. I cried all the way home when we came home yesterday. So it's very difficult. And so if you have an elderly parent, you know what I'm talking about. So just keep my family in your prayers. And I pray that you had an abundantly blessed 4th of July. And so talk to you later. All right, bye.
Jake, did you miss us? Did you miss Mommy, Daddy? You glad we're back home? Yeah, he's a pretty boy. He loves his Mom and Daddy. He loves his Mom and Daddy.
Hey y'all, we made it home. Had a good time. Yeah, I had to put on a new pair of one of my second pair of prescription glasses because the screw fell out, and my honey's fixing it for me now. But we made it home safely from spending since Friday, 4th of July weekend with my parents, and it was a little tough yesterday. But I got to see my nieces and my mama, and I had a really good time. She has, got dementia, and but it's really getting bad. And so if you have elderly parents that are going through that, you know what I'm talking about. And yesterday was the worst. That while we were there was 2 or 3 times that she didn't know that it was me, her daughter, that she was with. So that was hurtful and trying, but we just trust the Lord. She's 81 and she's still my mama, and we're planning on going back around Christmas time. So I hope y'all had a blessed 4th of July. Hope you enjoy the video, and I love y'all, but he loves you more. All right, bye. Hey y'all, it's Michelle from the Hudson Homestead. Today is 4th of July weekend, yay! And we are heading down to Atlanta. We're about 6:30, fixing to walk out the door, heading down to Atlanta, Georgia, my old stomping grounds, because my parents live there. So I just crossed and checked off my list of everything I packed. I'm just doing a once over. And we got a friend that's house sitting to take care of Jake. Hubby's out there at the last minute getting the truck cleaned out, his work truck. And then we're gonna load up. Got church clothes, get to go to church with my mom and dad for the first time in a long time. Because usually we go when we have a 3-day weekend with a holiday, and 3-day weekend with a holiday, and we usually take off a day, or it'd be like a Thanksgiving where we get Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. 7.5 hours at our age especially is not worth it if we can at least have 4 days. So hubby's normally off on Fridays. I took today off, and he took Monday off, and I get Monday off for 4th of July. So today's Friday, July 2nd. 6:30, no, it's actually 6:45 in the morning. Fixing to leave. Ooh, okay, we'll get down there, depending on traffic, bathroom breaks, about 1, 2 o'clock, and then we'll stay tonight, Saturday night, Sunday night, and then leave Monday morning to come back home to get ready for the next work week. Yeah, so love y'all. Have a blessed day. What was that again?
You like that?
I did. Say it again, please. You did such a good job.
You like that?
Yeah.
I bow to no law.
Oh my goodness. Here. Tell me that story again.
I just said, go out there and I need you to bring a box in for me if you would. Would you run out and get it out of the car? Okay, Dad. Daddy, there's a puppy here. I said, bring him in.
He's a pretty boy. You know, I wonder why I always liked dogs, because I could never keep one very long.
Well, I hated to get rid of Dappy but he was just tearing up the carpet because he wanted out. There was a dog around there, a female, it was in heat, and boy, he was just tearing the carpet up to get out.
And we were fixing to sell the house. I remember you were so upset, and it was like you said, we got to get rid of him because the house won't sell with the carpet tore up, and can't afford to right now to replace it. And I mean, I was heartbroken. I think I remember running in the kitchen. Do you remember me going in the kitchen and getting under the kitchen table crying? Or pouting or mad? I don't know. I remember getting under the table crying. How old was I?
I don't remember.
Well, you were selling the house to get married to Mom, right?
You were about 21.
I wasn't 21. Crawling up table to cry over. I was away from the home at 21. It was right. Okay, y'all got married June 30th, which, by the way, happy belated
How
anniversary.
many years did you say you were married?
42 years. That's amazing. You had to put up with my dad for 42 years, Mama.
Well, it doesn't seem like it's been that long. Are you sure we've been there?
79, June 30th, 1979. And I counted it up. I said, that's 42 years they've been married. That's awesome. And, what was I thinking? So I was 12 when y'all got married. And it was right, so I must have been maybe 10 or 11. 11 probably, when we got rid of Dappy. Yeah. How long did we have Dappy? Like, was he a year old? I mean, I don't remember.
We've had him about a year.
About a year? Yeah,
Yeah, I have a kid.
I know. You're a cat woman. Cat woman.
I live in a cat house.
But you like cats. You liked cats. We could keep Midnight, have a cat, but I could never keep a puppy or a dog very long.
Do you remember Midnight?
Midnight, yeah, the neighbor across the street.
No, my black cat. Midnight.
From the greenhouse on Hall Drive. That was our neighbor's cat that we took over because we fed him and he would come over, and remember the
Well, he
neighbor came to
lived
the
it.
house.
Yeah, but he started.
He's like,
living
y'all got my cat. I remember that, and I was like scared, but we became good friends, and I played with their daughter.
But they gave up on the cat, and he started.
Yeah,
living.
they didn't mind. Yeah, they were like a young hippie kind of couple, weren't they? I remember he had like some bushy hair, and they were kind of, I don't know, they were different. But now April, she had red hair and green eyes, and she was a little younger than me, but we would play together, and she always, I just remember her.
Was she the one that lived up the street?
They were right across the street from us, I believe.
Well, now you had one.
Oh, what was her name? I know who you're talking
No,
about.
pretty
Renee.
close, yeah.
Well, we were close, but when I look back, I'm embarrassed about it, because do you remember the time I didn't want to, because she always, bless her heart, she always wanted to play with me, and I don't know why being selfish or spoiled, I don't know, she got on my nerves because she would always come over and, and she talked a lot, maybe I couldn't get a word in, I don't know what the deal was, but do you remember what I did? Yes, I don't know how you can't remember, because you were so upset with me. I told you about it, didn't I,
What did I
Brian?
do?
She wanted to come play, and I didn't feel like it, or I lied, I said I hadn't seen her. I told her I broke my arm. Well, not thinking that, her mama, didn't think what would happen, the repercussions. And you had come home from work, and we were fixing to go out to eat, our normal nightly going out to eat. And my heart started beating, because here comes her mama in the car with Renee. And I don't know if they had flowers. I don't know if they just stopped because they seen us. And she goes and looked at my arm. My arm's not broken. And I remember my heart beating like, I'm in big trouble. I'm going to have to bend over and bite the covers, or choose 3 hard licks or 2 hard licks and 1 soft one. I said, my dad is, oh my goodness. So I remember you didn't say a word to me, and I think we went to Blimpie's that night, I think, if I remember correctly. And you wouldn't hardly speak to me or say a word. And you squeezed my hand so hard as we, remember you used to do that? If you were mad at me and didn't want to make a scene, you'd
I
like,
still do it to her.
dude, no you don't. I'll beat his tail. Does he do that? I know he doesn't. But yeah, you'd squeeze my hand so hard when you were mad. And you did. I guess you didn't want to make a scene, so you were like,
pinch.
yeah, now she in church. If I was talking or with my friend next to me in the pew, And so she would, and I was like, oh, I'm gonna scream to them, but I knew I'd be in worse trouble if I screamed. But it hurt so bad when Mama pinched my leg, like, you better be quiet. Can't hear the preacher. Oh, the tales we can tell from our childhood. Sammy. He liked playing with his daddy. He's so soft. One thing, cats can be comical, can't they? When they're playing.
You know, I don't know where Punky is. She
I think she ran up maybe inside. She's come out here and gone back in. He's staying out here a lot more than she is.
Mhm. Oh, it looks just like me, doesn't it?
And it's you. That's my beautiful mama. I love you. So you had a month? Wow. You had a goat too, didn't you?
Honey, we
She
had.
married a monkey and an old goat.
And I can see that.
Now, we never
I'm
had.
just picking
we
that.
didn't have any horses or
Yeah.
cows,
Right.
but my grandmother gave mother, my grandparents gave mother the land that's where I grew up.
Right.
And we had to, they had to buy a strip of land for the next door neighbor to get a driveway to go over, because we were behind.
Right.
See, they had an apartment, they had a store and had an apartment.
That they lived up above it, right, or
No,
something?
uh-uh,
Or next, or within it?
yeah.
Okay.
So, anyway,
And you had to run that store, didn't you, after school or something?
I worked there sometimes, but mother's worked there.
Did she?
Yeah, and she didn't get paid, but Papa,
That was your grandpa?
he gave us all our groceries
Oh, wow.
for mother.
For
work.
payment for her working.
Mhm.
Well, that was cool.
Yeah, because there were 8 of us kids.
Oh, my
I mean,
goodness.
it was a
Yeah,
lot of
you needed a
groceries.
little help, yeah.
A lot of groceries.
Wow.
And you know, it cost a lot to have.
Yeah, disinterested quick.
Back then it did?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
I mean,
wow.
people didn't have money back then.
Right,
So
Wow.
it seemed like it was a lot, but it wasn't.
right,
But the income wasn't high.
right, like it is now, huh?
But mother always worked in Papa and Nanny's store, and she got our groceries free.
Oh, wow.
And, but my daddy drove a
Cotton ran
tractor
out.
trailer that hauled 4 cars, and he was gone sometimes a week at a time.
Oh, my goodness. Your daddy?
Uh-huh.
Huh.
Yeah.
So, Ma Pete, your mama, she was at home with all 8 of y'all kids by herself with no husband in there?
Lots of times.
Wow. But I bet each one of you kids had chores and stuff you had to do.
We didn't have a real fancy house, but we had 4 bedrooms, a living room, kitchen, 1 bathroom.
So 4 bedrooms with 10 people in the house? Wow. 4 bedrooms. So there were 4 boys and 4 girls?
Uh-huh.
So mom and dad had 1 room,
Well, and the baby,
and the baby was with mom and dad in 1 room, and then probably all,
they were, all 4 of us girls were in a room together, and then there were 2 rooms that had boys.
okay. Wow.
Looks just like
Huh.
son.
No, wow.
I'm Barney's
But
butt.
the boys had a lot more toys and stuff.
Really? What did the girls have?
Well, we had toys, but we didn't have as many and as big a stuff as they had.
Right.
So they had,
And Mary, and it was at Christmas time,
Uh-huh.
and you were a little girl, and so on Christmas Eve, they put out cookies and milk for Santa Claus.
Mm-hmm.
And so the next morning, the first thing when we got up, you went over there and saw that plate. There was a couple of crumbs on the plate and the empty glass, you know, with the milk stain.
Yeah.
And you said, Santa Claus was here. He sure had them cookies and milk.
I remember Grandpa Coyle, he wanted me to believe in Santa Claus one more year or something. And I remember I was like, we had an apartment, so, you know, we didn't have a chimney like they did to have Santa Claus come down the chimney. And somebody had said, oh, well, he's got a key to all the apartments. And maybe it was you that told me that. But then Grandpa Coyle said, I'm going to show you that there's really a Santa Claus. We're going to catch his footsteps. So he went all the trouble. I remember looking back, remembering, he put some type of paper down in front of the fireplace, and then I found out later on that this is what he did, but at the time I was like convinced for another year, because he said, look, Michelle, he took, I guess, a pair of boots, and it stuck in the soot or ash in the fireplace or whatever, that stuff. And I don't know if he put the boots on, but he walked across the paper and got like he was going back up the chimney. And I was like, wow. I remember feeling like, maybe there really is a Santa Claus. I didn't think. And then it was like down the road, I don't know if somebody told me.
Recording?
Yeah. It's only 1 minute and 46 seconds. These are memories.
And you wouldn't go to sleep. And so Mom said, I know how to get her to sleep. I'll hypnotize her.
Oh,
You remember
Lord.
that?
Yeah, I do.
And so you were laying there, and you know, you had to go to school, or I think, anyhow, you had to go to sleep.
Yeah.
It was bedtime. And you were listening to us talking, and Mom said, well, look, I'll hypnotize her and get her to go to sleep. So you were laying there, and she told you, said, Michelle, close your eyes now, because you're getting sleepy, and your eyes are getting heavy, and like there's sand in your eyes, you know, and you're getting so sleepy, and you can't stay awake, and all of a sudden you close your eyes and kept them closed, and she says, now she's asleep. Says, let's tiptoe out. So we tiptoed out, and as I was fixing to close the door, I saw you open one eye. You were just playing around, and you opened one eye. I saw one eye open, and then it closed back right quick.
That was
no more asleep than we were.
I remember that. Yeah, I remember that, because you had first tried the Mr. Sandman story.
Oh, that's what that didn't work.
Yeah, so she said, let me try.
Yeah, so let me hypnotize her.
Oh my goodness.